Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust to talk about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And today we're talking about custom servers. Where are they at? What does it mean? It's been a year. What are we looking at as far as price? Maybe a time constraint, a timetable when this thing might be coming out. A lot of people are asking about solo, duo, trio servers. You know, what does this all mean? Where are we at? Some time estimations and some answers from Double 11, and some hypotheses, some theories that we've linked up with the information that we do have available. So first and foremost, let's go over what this does mean for everybody. Again, this is going to be solo, duo, trio servers. That's a big one. A lot of people have been getting pounded by Zergs, and it is fun to do a solo, duo, trio server, so I get it. Also, PvE servers. Some people just want to come in and build. Also, hosting events. You've seen us do this kind of stuff on an official server, which is a lot harder to do an event, but we'll be hosting stuff like that. More on that here later on in the video. And also roleplay servers. And, you know, also to just do whatever you want, right? So we got a lot of different things here. So I think we'll start with the social media aspect of this. It was over on Discord. So Pedro from Double 11 answered this question that Snuggy asked, are you able to say anything about community servers? And at 421, Pedro said, what I shared before, the team is still working on memory optimization. It still takes time, but we're making progress. So I did underline memory optimization because that is a key component here. Okay, so let's go over to this next one here. Marshall said, fishing villages before community service. This was asked before Fishing Village was out. It is currently, as of recording this is June 2022. Also, so Pedro said, probably not. There's more memory optimization to be done for the servers. Again, I underline that. So what I'm saying is memory equals cache. They have to keep the memory down not only for the console side or the client, you'll hear me say client, I mean the console, so PlayStations or Xboxes, but also for this server side, which is the actual servers, and that's the biggest cost, is the memory consumption. And you're like, okay, that's cool and all, and that's great that they want to keep it like a reasonable price, but what's that have to do with custom servers coming out? Well, that's first and foremost, they need to make sure the price is right itself. But there's an update that's coming through that's really going to push, or I think is interlinked with this quite heavily. So let's go ahead and go over that real quick. I've done this a few times, so hopefully this makes sense and I remember which one I've talked about. So Power Surge, as we know, Oceanbound is coming for us. It's still pending. It's out there on, or it will be our next big update for public testing branch. It is a separate download. But after that will be Power Surge. Power Surge has a lot of different things connected to it. But first and foremost, it needs memory. And when I say memory, I mean yes for the client, as there are new objects. These are Power Surge or electricity type items here, except this lantern. Yes, so that's going to add more overhead to the systems themselves, the PlayStations, the Xboxes. I'm looking at you guys, core systems. I get it. Performance can be a bit rough. But when we're talking about memory consumption, like, yes, we're talking about this, but specifically we're talking about the server side memory consumption, because that's really where the cost comes from, right? So we've got, I mean, you can already see them getting price conscious here with this layout, you know, having a one price and then a performance price. We'll go through that here in a second. But the reason why that's such a big deal is Power Surge using so much memory, they need to know how much this is going to consume once it's released to the wider player base. But that's why I think custom servers and Power Surge are so closely related, because of all the things that power brings in, or electricity. I mean, just look right here. All of this stuff is tracked now via, let me go ahead and bust out the power cable here. This is all, see these little power rates here? This is all calculated on the server side. Yes, there's some client stuff that happens here, so on the PlayStation or Xbox, but this is all on top of the server performance, right? Like the server memory, you know, on top of, like I said, the game itself. And you know, this server itself is running on a custom server, so I can attest to how much this does consume, and you know how much it does cost even on the PC side. And again, this will probably be more expensive here on the console side, as we have PlayStation and Microsoft on top of that. They need to make money too. This is a business. But what we're looking at here is Power Surge has a lot of this stuff in the background that it keeps track of. Just a few of these for an example, and that's why this needs memory. And I think they need to make sure, which I think is smart, because Power Surge has gotten pushed back so many times. And I think that's why custom servers have also been pushed back. Let's be honest, right? Think about this. It's a business. This is going to make them money. Is there any reason why they're holding this back? They have no reason to hold this back. It's because this is looming and they need to make sure they get this right first before custom servers. I mean, would you stop your business from getting another source of revenue? Absolutely not. And obviously this is what the player base wants, but there's no reason why they're just holding it back to, to be like, oh, I'm greedy Magoo, I just want to keep it back. Like, no. They would absolutely positively have these out, but it needs to be done right. Again, going back to the memory consumption and power surge. So I think these things are going to be interlinked for sure. I'm going to kind of do this out of order here, but you saw me talk about Oceanbound and how PTB works here. So let's maybe get a time estimate over here. We'll come back to this again too. Sorry if this is all over the place. Let me know if this was completely scatterbrained down in the comments. Okay, so I was going to save this for the end of the video, but okay, so here's what we're looking at. We just got done with Fish Village, right? Fishing Village. We'll call this PTB-A. And as you can see here, if this is time from left to right, if this little block A represents time, this is when it comes in, right here on this line. So as time goes on, you'll have patches and patches, and then it reaches polish, and then it gets pushed to main branch. That's why we have the blue coming down here. Sometimes we have a gap in time here. We'll say 1 month. Sometimes it's a handful of weeks. So in that orange area, that's where we are currently with waiting for Oceanbound, right? But what's going to happen after that is Oceanbound's going to come in. It's going to get iterations and some patches. It's going to reach polish, purple here, and then get pushed to main branch. Then there will most likely be a gap of time, 1 month, and then we'll see things like power surge. So the reason why I'm throwing that out there is like off of this, because you know these blocks can be 2 to 3 months, Fishing Village was, Oceanbound, assuming it follows the average, and same with Power Surge. If you have access to PTB, I think you will see this somewhere in October-ish. This is a big, big guess, huge caveat here. And again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe they bust out Power Surge tomorrow, and that would be awesome. I mean, if I'm wrong, that's nothing but gains for everybody else, including myself, right? Like, I would take Power Surge. Yes, yes, please. No more turret spam. Yes, please. So this is good news. So once it hits here, it'll be in PTB. That's once it reaches polish, it'll hit the red zone and then get pushed to main branch. So what I'm saying is, I think we'll see this in PTB sometime in Q4, and I think it'll be polish, maybe Q1. Whoops, I fell off the top. Maybe Q1 latest. Unless we run into some huge hiccups, 2023, I had to think about that for a second, as far as it hitting main branch. We'll definitely let you guys know as soon as this comes in here, if we see any indicators, if somebody tells us anything, or maybe when this comes in, maybe it doesn't take 2 to 3 months, and maybe we see it both hit PTB, but then finish all at, before the year is out, 2022. That's my estimation for this so far. Obviously, I'm hoping for something sooner. I'm setting my expectations for Q4 of 2022 for Power Surge, and we're just anxiously waiting this. I mean, let's put it this way. If Oceanbound goes well and this gets knocked down to 1 month or 2, yeah, we're going to see this a lot sooner. So, like I said, if we're wrong, it's nothing but gains for us. So that's the time estimate I have so far for this. Let's see what else. We're going to talk about pricing, I think, down here in our events. So one of the things we're going to be taking advantage of for sure is hosting events. And over here on the PC, we've done that. And to talk about, actually, before we do this real quick, let me go up here real quick. Somebody was asking about solo duo trio servers up here, and this is another reason why I think this time estimation is pretty solid. Sorry, I know this is all over the place. Somebody was asking about solo duo trio servers, and again, the only reason why we probably can't do that is it needs to be a community server type thing. But he did say, I don't think it's going to take another year. But also kind of saying that it could take a hot second, which kind of fits with this. As we know, Oceanbound's next and then Power Surge. So based off of our estimations, I mean, Q4 is pretty realistic. It's pretty realistic. But anyways, okay, back to pricing and events. To show you like admin controls, because somebody up here was talking about admin controls, what are they going to look like? Oh, I don't think I showed this. Like I said, I've done this 5 times. I can't remember what I did in the previous video. But right here, somebody says, I must ask, what is admin going to look like for community servers? Admittedly, Pedro said he didn't know. He says, but what I do know is we're trying to bring as much as possible from what we know the community wants. Some of the features might not be available right away with the release, but we can definitely keep on adding it over time. So we already know, even just with basic admin tools, which we know they have, just based off of this chart here, admin tools for either version, standard or performance, all this here on the PC side, we've built with 0 mods. So like I'll just show you the admin controls here. Stuff like this, where we can just select things, drop them in, make super stacks of things. Like, look at my item size here, and you've seen super stacks like 200,000. Are you kidding? But you've seen super stacks in things like Builder's Paradise, so we know it's possible. So we'll be running events like this on console, where we just build a giant arena. We have PvP. We bring people in. We'll stream it. You know, channel members that will have first dibs on coming in as like a nice thank you. But we'll just have like a free-for-all. It'll be fun. We'll be building up these areas here. So we'll have one server that's dedicated to that and another server that is bi-weekly that'll have standard rates, which I think is going to be amazing because bi-weekly is the one that people play the most on PC. I mean, think about it. Weekly is a bit too fast and monthly is definitely too long. Bi-weekly, just the right amount of time. So yeah, we'll be doing stuff like this, and this is actually a screenshot from our last PvP arena. We always have a blast doing it. It'll be super fun opening it up so people can, you know, clap our cheeks and we can just go back and forth. It'll be fantastic. So we're looking forward to it. And if you're like, hey, I don't want to pay money for a custom server, we get it. So just come over and join us on the event server or on our bi-weekly server. So either way you want it, we got it for you. If you just want to get your own, I get it too. Okay, so let's see. I think we got everything here so far, maybe. As far as the different tools and such, I don't know if we went over this before, but we do know, did we say this before? I don't know if we did. Some of the things they got going on for this, if I run over this already, I'm sorry. The things we do know about custom servers so far is we've already seen them during the public tests. We've seen active admins flying around spawning things. This is from Rust Console Edition right here. Let me just fly over it. Boopity boop. That's an admin flying around. And over here, this was for the Fishing Village event. When the Fishing Village event went down, they made tweaks to the aim train server, the target practice server. So they tweaked actual kits, and then they were able to, what was the other one? Oh, yeah. We were doing the oil rig test, and they had us, we had like a 90-person queue, and they pushed us forward. And these are all things that we know they actively have. Also, if you have PTB, you know that they've got a 2X server out there too. So they're testing all kinds of stuff. So we already know there's lots of progress for this, so it's very exciting. I know you guys are really anxious for it. Like I said, there's no reason why they would hold this back. I think when it's ready, it's coming. It is great that it has its own team. It is great that all of the admin stuff is all on the console. And, you know, as I just said, you know, we've seen a lot of progress already. So I think once we see more of this piece, Power Surge itself, I think this is going to start to materialize. Does it mean that custom servers come in absolutely positively when Power Surge does? Not necessarily. It could, once they have a good grasp on what the consumption is for memory, I think they'll say, okay, custom servers, here we go. So yeah, it can happen between now and the end of the year, really, realistically. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. I know a lot of people have been asking for it. The Zergs have been clapping everybody's cheeks. So I know solo duo servers are definitely on everybody's mind here. So if you're like, hey, I got a Zerg up my cheeks all the time. I need a good way to keep people out. You want to know what the next bunker base meta is going to be? Well, it's called the the double offset bunker mechanism. This isn't a base build, this just shows you the mechanism. I'd highly recommend this. We'll throw it up on the end screen here. Warning, this is an advanced build. It is highly recommended you understand this build first, mess it up a lot before you actually implement it on an official server. Just saying, but it's definitely worth your time. Easy to do once you learn it.